We are live, guys, and sometimes live is perfect, and sometimes live has a few live moments. But we're live, and I'm so excited. I'm 𝗦𝗽cie Brant, and you tuning into the 𝗦𝗽cie Brant Show here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, coming to you from Texas. We just celebrated Valentine's Day, so hopefully you got to share some love and receive some love. I know I got to do that. It was awesome. And today I'm joined by a very special co-host. She is known on social media as 𝗦𝗽cie Thunder. She's also got a very fun name, 𝗦𝗽cie Francisco. She's a nationally level wellness competitor, and she is an online trainer. She's a lifestyle coach. She's a fitness model. My goodness, I don't know what she doesn't do. She also designs websites. So let's bring in 𝗦𝗽cie.
Good morning or good afternoon.
Hi.
How are you, Monica? Thanks for having me in your show.
Yeah, I'm so thankful to have you on. So thanks for making the time today. I know today's one of your days off, right?
It is. It is.
Yay. Well, I'm thankful to have you on. So we have joined up today, and we're so thankful. This show is brought to you and presented by Hemp Help. So we always are so thankful for our sponsors. So Hemp Help is a CBD product that I've been using now for almost 1 year. I learned about it at the Arnold last year from Flex Wheeler. I mean, who better to learn about a product than from one of the biggest names in the industry, right?
The 𝗦𝗽cie Brant Show is brought to you in association with Hemp, the world's leading sports recovery products.
Well, I've had a frozen shoulder for around 5 years now following an accident, and this stuff, put it on, and already I have more movement in my arms. Unbelievable, and it smells gorgeous, so absolutely brilliant. Thumbs up for me.
I tried some of this product, literally rubbed it in. Within 2 minutes, I've gained instant relief.
This is really personal. There's no way that I can really fake this, and I'm not going to fake it because I'm severely in pain. You know, it really works. It really works for me. It really works for everyone else who's tried it. Go to hemphealth.com or follow us on Instagram at hemphealth.
All right, we're back on. So 𝗦𝗽cie, I know you've got some hemp help coming to you, so looking forward for you to try it.
Yes, so excited for it.
A little ache and pain everywhere once in a while. So, hey, okay, 𝗦𝗽cie, you've been very instrumental in helping to bring some of these awesome athletes on that have been invited to the very prestigious Arnold Classic Internationals, obviously for the women. So who do you have for us lined up very first?
Right. So I'm so excited to introduce this woman, this amazing athlete to you guys, because I've been following her. I actually saw her at the Nationals before she turned pro.
Okay.
And ever since I just followed her, and she turned pro, then won her a pro show as well, and then got invited to the Olympia last year, did the Olympia, qualified for the Olympia, and now she's doing the Arnold. And her name is Amanda Burnett, IFBB Pro Wellness, and she's from Oklahoma, and she's an amazing woman. I just like watching her transform. Every show is just, it's just amazing. So
there she is. Hi, Amanda.
Hi. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Thanks for taking time for us on this beautiful Sunday afternoon.
Yes. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's wonderful. I know you're 2 weeks out.
Yes. Yeah. It's just flown by. I can't believe it's almost here.
I know it goes by so fast. I mean, all of us know that last 2 weeks. And so thank you so much for taking time on the last 2 weeks to come on and visit with us here on the 𝗦𝗽cie Brant Show and just get to learn a little bit about you. So can you take us kind of back to who Amanda was, as a youngster, and how you got into being this wellness pro athlete, world renowned?
Yeah, of course. So I always played sports growing up, very athletic, basketball, track. So then after high school, I kind of took off for a while, got into, just unhealthy eating habits. I had my 2 children, very blessed to have them. And then I just decided one day I wanted to get back into just being healthy. I was tired of being overweight. I started running marathons. I lost about 45 to 50 pounds doing that. So I ended up getting injured and couldn't run marathons anymore. And I just needed something to fill that void. And I found bodybuilding. And that's how I actually met my husband as well. He started out as my trainer, and now he's my husband 3.5 years later. So yeah, that's how it happened.
Wow. That's okay. Marathon runner to top wellness competitor.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, because running a marathon doesn't necessarily build a nice lower half. I mean, right? Like you get some long, leaner muscle, but it's not like doing sprints that kind of ump up the muscle tissue a little bit.
Well, and in high school, I was actually a sprinter.
Okay.
When I was in track, and I found marathon running, and it just I loved just the peacefulness of it. And I know that sounds insane, kind of going out running 26 miles for fun, but it just was so much fun to go out and just have that 4 hours of meditation and alone time. But you're right, of course, I went down. My weight actually went so far down. I was underweight at that point. So then when I stopped running, like I said, I found bodybuilding. I was actually started out lifting in my living room, in front of a mirror for like a year because I was afraid to go to the gym by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found a group of friends that I went with. And then I found my husband on Facebook actually. So it all just kind of fell together. And now, I absolutely love it. This is what I'm meant to do.
I am just, there's so many big pieces to your story. I mean, first of all, talking about eating disorder, right? And then the time spent. I mean, I'm a sprinter and I can say I get that. I'm not a long distance runner at all, but I do love being on the track, especially when there's nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
And I can just do my own thing. And I don't care if it's 1:00 in the afternoon when it's super hot here in Texas. You're central located, so you know that 1:00
Yes.
time could be really hot. But those are just moments that, and I think a true athlete lives for, like that, where you can just kind of dive into your craft, whatever it is at the time, and feel it, right?
Yes.
That makes sense. And having children and your you found your husband on Facebook, like
I did. He always makes fun of me. He says, well, she chased me down. She's the one that came after me. I guess technically that's the story. So I did
let him
chase
have
him. Yes, but it's he's my soulmate. We're into the same thing. It is just, it's wonderful having someone that supports you 100%. And we eat the same, we train the same. It's perfect. I
love that. You already have your husband who you love and adore, and then you have a trainer, your coach.
Yes.
It's just a complete package.
Absolutely. But you know what? Sometimes it's kind of hard. It comes back to bite me because in off season when I'm like, oh man, I'd love to have some Oreos or something. You can't do that. Oh man.
Yeah, how does that work? I'd love to know how does that work, like that dynamic, having your husband as your coach in this bodybuilding world.
It's actually really it's a positive because like I said, he is always around to help. And sometimes he has to be hard on me and just really lay the hammer down. Like these last couple of weeks, he's like, no, you have to hit, every cardio session. We've had to go up to 3 days at some point these last couple of weeks. And he's like, at this point, I just have to be your coach. And, I just have to tell you how it is because no one else will tell you that. And it's just been a blessing to have him here 24/7 to let me know and just help me meal prep and help me get up because we get up at 3:30 in the morning. And so he helps me, he hits that coffee in the morning, brings me a cup to get me out of bed. And it's been wonderful.
So that's his moment of being the husband, bringing you the coffee. And then after that, it's like, go.
Yeah. He's like, here's your coffee. Get
yeah.
Yes.
I think it's so awesome because there's so many relationships that suffer when one person gets involved with this competition because it is very, and I don't like to use the word selfish because we are athletes and athletes are, it's a special thing and you have to be all about your craft in order to be a top athlete. You can't just, and so when people say it's very selfish, well, anything you do at the highest level can be that way, but I don't like to use that word. I think it's, and you surround, when you're that person and that athlete, no matter what sport it is, you have to surround yourself with people that want to see you succeed because they care, because their name is attached. So your husband's name is attached to you. And if he has a business outside of just you, which I'm sure he does, he's got you have to be at your absolute best for the name of the business, the sake of his credibility and his longevity in the business. So I think it's awesome that you are his wife, but you can be coachable. And I'll tell you, my husband and I have a horse training business. Well, it's his, but you're husband and wife, so I'm involved. But when I'm there at the barn, even though I've been riding horses my entire life, used to show and all that, when I get on a horse and he's the trainer, I have to take that wife hat off as much as possible and allow him to coach me. And even if he kind of raises his voice at me, not to be like, yeah.
Sure.
So it can be a challenging thing, but I think as the athlete wanting to succeed, you have to be willing to have that coach and be coachable and to appreciate the investment time that they're taking to make sure you succeed at your best, highest level. So, you're right though. It can be really hard when, you have your own thoughts and then he's got his thoughts, but man, if you can make that work, that's a really wonderful thing to just be able to work together like that. So congratulations, because that's not easy.
And just like you said, sometimes you have to take your emotion out of it. Like a lot of people would get their feelings hurt. Oh, he's coming down on me. But given, I've been an athlete for so long, I know it's not personal. I know it's him being a coach and he has to be that way. And if I'm going to be world class, then I need to step up my game. And so, I have no problem taking those, not harsh words, but he's very direct with me and I can handle it. And that's how we've had the success that we've had.
Yeah, and you're definitely successful. I mean, I see you got your pro card just last year, right? And at the USA's, because I remember watching you at Nationals live, because I was actually there to support my fiance because he competed in bodybuilding. So I was there live. I wasn't competing that year, but I saw you and I'm like, who is this woman? Like your physique was amazing. So I started following you, and then I saw you. You won at the USA's, and you're also part of your Masters 35 plus, right?
Yes.
So that's, for me, that's very inspirational, as I'm also in the Masters. I'm like 42. So I'm just like, I just really need to follow this woman, And so I saw you win your pro card at the USA's. You did a few pro shows after that. And then you won the Legion's Pro Sports Fest and qualified for the Olympia. I mean, how does that feel, just getting your pro card the same year and doing the Olympia the same year?
It's unreal, like cloud nine. We had a goal and we were not going to stop at all until we were there. So, we just kept going and going. We got a pro card. We immediately said, let's do these pro shows. We're going to keep going until we win and get Olympia qualified. So we hit the Texas Pro and got third, Heart of Texas got second, and then Legion and got first. And that was it. And that's our goal again this year, is to get Olympia qualified. So we're not going to stop until we get Olympia qualified again.
So congratulations. That's just, and it's so fun to hear when you say we are going to do this, right? Because it's a team. It's like a team.
Yes.
Sport by yourself. There's no way. We know people just don't succeed when you're alone. So it's so fun. I'm super excited for you guys as a couple. Like I can just feel like his excitement building and your excitement. And it's just like, it's so fun to feel that for you. So how soon after the Olympia did you find out about the Arnold?
Oh, gosh. So I had applied for it, and, I had been really good about doing my cardio. I can't believe I'm telling you the story.
Cardio, we all know that.
Right. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be really good. I'm going to, have some cheat meals. So when the list came out, I thought, okay, well, I'm going to get back on my off-season diet, which is, as we all know, it's not exactly a pre-contest. I go up a little bit in fats and carbs and everything. So I was actually training for the Houston Pro, which was, or still is, April 1st. So my weight had gone up. I was about 145, which is about 5 pounds heavier than normal for my off season. So at 6 weeks out from the Arnold, I was about 142. I'd come down a little bit. I got a phone call and they said, well, you're going to get an invite to the Arnold like the next day. And I thought, oh my God, like I was so excited. And then my next thought was, oh my God, I've got to like really hammer it because I've got to come down in weight. I've just really got to get tight. And sure enough, I got the email the next day. And it's just been, we've been hitting it so hard. I'm trying to
I bet.
say, what's on my mind exactly, but we have been hitting it so hard. Like I said, we've been doing 3-a-day cardios sometimes just because 6 weeks is really kind of pushing it, but we made it happen. This morning, we hit exactly where we needed to be. I was so pleased. So we're there. Like I said, I'm just on top of the world right now. I feel fantastic.
May I ask, what is the weight that you would like to be on stage, or is it more by body fat? I know it's also how you look, but what is typical weight for you on stage?
Typical weight, yes. And again, it's always kind of how we look. It's generally anywhere between, it's usually 124 or 125, okay. And I'm 5'2.5".
Wow. Okay. And then do you do body fat testing while you're in this process?
You know what? I have never actually done body fat testing. I probably should just to see.
It's fun. I was like, when I competed, that's how I went. That's all I could go by because my weight really didn't fluctuate much, but the body fat was like.
Right. But I never have actually done body fat testing. So that'll be something that I'd like to do probably in the next, couple months or 6 months just to see.
So they have different, obviously different testing. And here in San Antonio now, I've got a doctor that does the DEXA scan, and I can go in anytime and do the DEXA. And for me, that was always fun. In Austin, I used to do the bod pod. It was like a little egg you get in. And that was always my way of encouraging me to get to that next, because weight never fluctuated too much for me. Maybe 5 pounds, but my body fat was always changing. And that was really what was fun for me. And I haven't heard too many people like measuring body fat, but I know it's a lot of how you look. Obviously the condition, you can see it, but to me, it's kind of fun to see that number, especially when it's low.
Yes. And that's why I should probably do it, because I'd like to know, because we usually get super, super tight. And I would just love to know,
it's fun. It's just a good stat.
Yes.
Interesting. That way, next time I ask you, you're like, oh my gosh, I know.
I had it done.
So coming into the Arnold, and obviously coming off the Olympia and all that you've just done. And of course, Roxy, as she just shared how excited she is to follow you. And she's a fan, obviously, too. Like, how does that feel for you now to think you're actually a role model now? You're not just looking, and you may still have other role models, but you are now a role model, and getting on that Arnold stage right after the Olympia, like your name's going to be out there. How does that make you feel any differently, or kind of an interesting aha moment, or have you?
It had never really felt like that until I started getting those messages on Instagram, and I thought, wow, like how can I be a role model for people? But yeah, people were telling me, wow, I have children. Is it possible for me to compete? Or I see you, and now I see it is possible to compete. Or I've seen your before and after pictures, because I've posted those before, where I went from very overweight to very underweight to being on stage, and it has helped so many people, and it's very humbling. Sorry, I'm going to get,
it's okay.
But, it is so humbling to know that I've had, that I've helped people.
An impact on someone's life.
You definitely have.
Yeah.
At least for me, I know.
Thank you. I mean, it does. And I get, we have a personal training business. My husband has been doing it for years, and I've just recently started training people too. And I have so many girls, women from the gym, and they say the same thing, like, seeing you having kids, or, I used to have an eating disorder, and just getting to know you has, brought light to my life. It just, like I said, it makes it feel so real. It just feels good.
Did you ever? Oh, go ahead.
Roxy, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, did you ever think, like, when you were working out in at home, like lifting weights at home in front of a mirror, did you ever envision you today, like how you are today, back when you started at home?
Never. I believe it or not, I'm actually a very shy person. I'm pretty introverted. And my husband always kind of laughs. He's like, "You are just the most introverted person," and he's pretty extroverted. That's why we fit together so well. But when I get out there and when I get around people, and when I walk on stage, it's just so funny that I can walk out on stage in a bikini, in heels. But no, I never envisioned that I could have that kind of impact or be able to talk to people or in front of people, or inspire people, and do these kind of things. I never thought that. No.
I just had a really awesome interview with Samson Dowda, the Arnold Classic, the champion coming in from the Arnold Classic. And he has a similar story to yours, as far as he said the same thing. He goes, I was someone who would never take my tank top off. I didn't want to ever show my physique to anyone. And he said, even to the very last moment before he went on his stage the very first time, he was like, I didn't want to take my sweats off. I hadn't pumped up or anything. It was like time to go on stage, and everyone's like, you got to get your clothes off. And he says, but when I went on stage, he goes, something clicked, because I just fell in love with what I was doing. So it's kind of fun to hear those stories. So how did Scott have to encourage you to do this interview?
Well, no, I was actually so thrilled because when Roxy, this was a while ago, when she started following me, I started following her, and I just love your content. She's just a beautiful person. And again, because you're masters as well, and I just love watching masters competitors also, because it's just, again, it's inspiring to me as well. But no, when she reached out to me for this interview, I was like, oh, in a heartbeat, I will do this. I was just so thrilled.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So no talking and doing this. I was like, yes, absolutely.
Well, it's awesome because, I've been in this industry for almost 30 years now, and I know a lot of people, but I don't know a lot of people too. And this show has really been, I started in 2020. I started talking to the people that helped build this industry from from back in the day, like way before even me. I started in 91. And so I've been over the time really wanted to talk to new people and find out, the new generations coming up. And so it was a perfect scenario. I'm like, Roxy, can you help me get a group of wellness athletes together? So, because I wanted to learn a little bit more about this event, and also the athletes that are bringing this event forward. So if you could explain, Amanda, what you think wellness is compared to, fitness, obviously fitness, without the big routine, but figure, bikini, just for anyone that's watching that doesn't understand maybe the difference.
So to me, wellness is more, and genetically I'm built more lower body dominant, quads, glutes, hamstrings. I was always built that way. And funny story, when I first started with Scott, I was dead set on doing figure. I absolutely loved, and I still love watching figure. I was watching Sid Gilliland, Latoria Watts. And so he told me, he said, there's this new division coming. It's wellness. You are built for it. You should really, really think about doing this. And when I watched it, I thought, absolutely not. I'm not going out there, and I am not, feminine like that. And I can't walk like that or look like that. He said, well, take a little time, think about it, because you really are, you're much more lower body dominant. I have very large quads, very large hamstrings, hamstring dominant. And so the more I looked, the next couple of weeks, I thought, I'm going to really struggle trying to fit into figure, even though I love it so much. But I've grown to love, I've grown to love wellness quite a bit. But it just fits my body. And I think it's so feminine. A lot of women are built that way. And then, I think a lot of women kind of try to struggle to go to different divisions. When really that's how they're built. So I think I'm so glad that it came to America.
So 𝗦𝗽cie, can you just share a little bit about where wellness kind of emerged from?
Well, wellness is really from Brazil. So that's why it's like most of the, the top contenders are from Brazil or from South America, Latin America. And it's been in Brazil for 12 years or more. And then it just came to America about 3 years ago, 3 years ago. So it's a pretty new division. So even when you go to the local shows, you don't really have much competitors doing wellness, but it's really nice to see a lot of people here in America actually embrace wellness and love wellness. And it gives like a lot of women who are bottom heavy, bottom dominant, a place to actually be an athlete, an excellent athlete. So.
Right. That might have been the division for me had I been now as opposed to years ago when there was just bodybuilding and then fitness. But because I think we talked about this at the Olympia, 𝗦𝗽cie. I was Kinder Thighs when I was a kid too. Kinder Thighs.
Yes. I tried bikini like 7 years ago and I was like, not my body type. So thank God for wellness. So that's why I came back.
So Amanda, what are when you train, does Scott train you or does he just do you go into the gym with the plan and you do it, or do you actually have him work with you each time?
It kind of depends. Sometimes we'll work out together, and sometimes, let me start over. We're always at the gym together. And so if he's training a client or, because I don't train upper body anymore. Because a lot of my feedback was that I need to bring down my upper body. So I do lower body 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off. So he obviously doesn't do the same split as me. So he will train whenever his quad or hamstring day is up, we'll train those together. But when it's not, he'll just tell me what to do. And then we'll just train the same time, just separately, if that makes sense.
Right. So that's interesting. When you're training, I'm assuming you're training heavy, lower body. And I know there's a lot of things that we do in the gym training heavy lower body that our upper body still gets some workout. Lifting, just lifting the weights up. And then sometimes, when you're doing things that are athletic, you're holding them or, whatever. So the upper body still gets a little bit, but that's kind of fun though, right? Just lower body training.
It is. And again, sometimes I miss working at my upper body, but I really have gotten in the habit of doing, my split is quads, glutes, hams off, and then I'll do glutes, quads, glutes. Basically I'm doing glutes every other time now at this point. But yeah, it is. I've grown to love it. Just doing lower body all the time. Like you said, I still got to work out kind of up here just from picking up the plates and everything. And that's how I'm able to keep my shape, especially when I diet down. I still look like I work my upper body, as you can see in that right there. But yeah, I do. I truly enjoy working my lower body. I know some people would think, oh, that's torture working it all the time, but no, I love it.
It's fun. It's fun. You get to train something. Okay. So if you never, let's say you compete at the Arnold and then just hypothetical, that's your last show. How would you want people to remember you and for what? And how would you like how would you like people to remember you as an athlete? And then what do you think you would like to be able to give back to the younger generations coming up, as in maybe advice or tips?
Well, I would just like people to remember me as someone that just pushed and pushed and just didn't stop until I, got to where I wanted to get, or just got to my goal. Because I felt like when I started, we just, we just kept going and kept going until we got that pro card. We got that pro win. We got to the Olympia. We got to the Arnold. So I hope that some people will get inspired from that to just see that, hey, if you push hard enough for a goal, you can get there. And, again, that would be my advice for people is if you want it bad enough, you can get it. You can do whatever you want if you push hard enough. Just keep going. Don't take a break. I think I was doing a photo shoot with JM after the USA's, and he said so many people take a break after they get their pro card, like a long break. He's like, just keep going. The judges want to see you. And so that's what we did. We just kept going and going and going. And, like I said, I got 3, 2, 1 in my pro show and then to the Olympia. And we plan on doing that again this year. Just go and go and go until we win Olympia. We have big goals, and I know I'm 38, but you know what? Why not? Why not us? Mm-hmm. So, I hope I'm able to inspire some people just to keep pushing.
Well, I'm sure you are, and you will continue. Is there anything that, it's awesome to be this athlete, but being able to take the opportunities that come from being this top world-class athlete and then using that for maybe business strategy or, part of your business. Is there anything that you would like to, or is there something that you're thinking, to be able to utilize the stage in order to build a part of your business? Is there a thought of that yet, or is this still too new?
Well, and yes, we have actually, our personal training business has grown quite a bit already from it. It seems like every time I do a show, we get more and more, especially women, mm-hmm. Because they see that, it's motivating to people. Mm-hmm. I'm currently in the process of building a website because we've had a lot of questions. People want to see the workouts, the diet plans. So that should be done in the next couple months. But yeah, so that's what we're hoping to gain from that. So long term, because obviously you can't bodybuild forever, but sometimes we wish we could, but you can pass along knowledge to
right.
people, and that's what we are wanting to do.
That's awesome. Well, RoxC can attest to building a good website.
Yeah, that's true.
You ever need someone else to help you out, RoxC?
I'm here.
I'm excited. So, okay, last couple of weeks, is there anything you'd like to share before we let you go back to getting your prep on? How can people find you, and anything exciting this next 2 weeks that you're like, oh my gosh, I want to share that, or just head in the sand and working hard?
Well, so first exciting thing is I hear that I might be getting a refeed today. That is the most exciting thing I've heard in weeks.
Oh, I love it. Okay, well, stop the presses. What's on the refeed meal?
Well, so I hear that it might be, because normally we do like either a steak. Normally we do, hear me out, a steak. But I am hearing that it might be like a burger and fries. So, because I posted some pictures this morning, if anybody goes to my Instagram,
yes. And
I was pretty flat this morning. And so we're thinking about burger and fries today. We'll see.
That's exciting.
The gourmet kind of burger and the big order of fries, or is it like a very neat and tidy little burger? It's the big one.
There you go.
Is there somewhere special you like to go for that?
Yes, there's a place called Fat Guys Burgers. I don't know if you guys have them around there, but it's the best place. Yeah.
Out in California, I lived out there for 10 years, and we had Fat Burger. Mm-hmm. Fat Burger. It was just called Fat Burger. So we don't have it here in San Antonio, but that one was kind of like that. You're talking about like that place to go where they get those nice things.
It's delicious. So, and normally I have this, I say habit. Normally before a show, I get in this zone like the last 3 weeks, and it's a struggle for me to get on social media. I just kind of stay away. I kind of block everything out. it's hard for me to even answer the phone, really. Scott has to remind me, like, okay, you need to call your mom back, or you need to get on Instagram and post those pictures. And I love my mom. We talk every day. But I really get in this mental zone, this focus about the show. And he, has to tell me, go ahead and keep posting those updates on social media. I just don't like to be distracted by anything, but it's very much this zen place, I guess, for me the last couple of weeks before the show. But I am trying to be better about posting updates on Instagram and Facebook. So just keep checking there. I'll keep posting my updates.
That's awesome. It's just so important. Like, every minute counts. Like, there's not a minute in your day that doesn't count.
Yes.
Right? Between your sleep and how, when you eat and when you brush your teeth, like, everything counts and everything matters. And so I get it that last 2 weeks or so, and the people around you probably all know that. They all love you and care, and they're pushing you gently onto that goal, and they're with you with every stride. So with that said, I'm just so thankful that you took 30 minutes, 40 minutes. We're at 12:45. So I'm going to have to let you go and get back to that refeed meal. I'm excited for the refeed. So thank you,
Yes.
Roxy. Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm just really excited to see you at the Arnold stage, because it's like your physique's amazing. Your personality is amazing as well. It's like you're beautiful inside out, and you're such an inspiration to many of us. So
I appreciate you
I'll be
guys.
cheering you on.
Thank you.
All right, Amanda. Thank you so much for joining. And Claudia, if you could post her Instagram one more time if you're there, and we'll let Amanda go. And there she
Enjoy
is.
her burger.
Yes. And tell Scott hi. Look forward to meeting him sometime. And maybe another time down the road this year, we can get both you and Scott on and talk about being a couple in the industry and how that, because I think it's really important for other people to hear it. So
That'd be awesome. Yes. Thank you guys so much.
God bless you
Thank
guys.
you.
And best of skill for the Arnold.
Thank you.
Bye. I love it. It's so fun to hear people's stories of how they, how they got to the spot where they are, and just feeling that Arnold, like it, the energy coming in.
Yes. We're 12 days out. So it's very tough for her and exciting for us who are watching it.
I know, right? Like, and every minute counts, every day. Like, you take each day at a time, and then you have to break it down by the hours that you're awake and how many hours you're going to sleep and what hours you're going to be training and what are cardio, and even just the in-betweens of those. And it's so much on the brain. And then you think about, obviously we know how lean you get and how tired you get from just the constant go, and your body's kind of like fighting being lean, because women's bodies don't want to be lean.
You would know how that feels. I mean, you were invited to the Arnold and did the Arnold 8 times, 9 times? Like, that's amazing. Like, how was that?
Well, let's see. I was invited 9 times between fitness and figure. And the first Arnold that I went to was in 1996. And I was there doing photo shoots. One of the photographers brought in a couple of us girls, and we used to go they would have a studio set up in a hotel room. And they would just, bodybuilders would come in, and, the women that were shooting would come in, and we would just kind of all get in there, and the photographer would just take, pictures of us together and then change out people. And so I was there doing that. And I had a cover out on Muscle and Fitness. This cover of me.
That's awesome.
That was in 1994. So I sat with Dennis Newman, who was like one of the top guys at that moment. And we sat and autographed the cover together in 1996. That was fun. But so I got invited. The first Arnold Fitness International was 1997.
Okay.
96, it was still the USA National Finals was there. So Miss Fitness USA. So it wasn't even NPC, it wasn't IFBB, it was literally the Miss Fitness USA. It was a whole different organization for that particular event. So the Arnold Classic was going on, like all the men's stuff, like we know. IFBB, but then because they didn't have fitness at the time for IFBB or NPC. It was just women's bodybuilding. So they had this other organization, and I was actually had competed in the other organization for a few years,
Okay.
from 91 on to, this is 96. So 97 was the first year that they invited, or they had a pro fitness international. So I got invited to that, and then 98, and then I won the Olympia in 98. In 99, I just needed a break, so I didn't even do the Arnold in 99.
Okay.
But it was so different back then. With fitness, we had 4 rounds. We had
rounds.
in the beginning.
That's crazy. In one day, or spread out in like a weekend?
Goodness. It seems like it was all one day.
Okay.
So, I mean, right. So we had a speaking round.
Okay. Which we don't have right now. Don't
And
have anymore.
We had to wear like just whatever they basically told us, wear whatever you want to wear on stage, just look nice. So everyone came in with all different outfits. Like some of the, European people came in with some really like go out Vegas night outfits. And then I went in
more like a pageant then. It's somewhat like a pageant, and then with a fitness.
Yeah, without the pageant dress.
Mm-hmm.
So I wore like a little black mini skirt that was kind of flowy and simple heels. And I had a little velvet kind of top that tucked into my skirt. Super simple. I had my hair up like a pageant kind of look. And we had to pull a question out of the hat and answer a question on stage. So I ended up winning that round. And then we had a routine round, and we had the 2-piece physique round.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also had a athletic round, which meant at that particular time, they brought in, for this show, they brought in this big kind of quick reflex kind of machine. So they had a big computer screen, and and then on the ground were dots, and you had to be able to jump back and forth to the dots on the computer screen. And whoever did it fastest won.
Oh, wow. So it's like a mini obstacle course aside from your routine.
And everyone could watch it. It was right there down at so I think they had the prejudging, and then they had the night show. So the prejudging was the speaking round and the athletic thing. And then the night show had the routine and the 2-piece bikini.
Okay.
Yeah. So I am, so 97 and 98, I came in second both times. And, all together. And then I didn't compete again until a figure, and I got invited to the very first figure international in 2003.
Oh, that's amazing.
So then I competed all the way up to 08, and then 09 I was invited, but because I was placing low.
Okay.
My company that I was endorsed through at the time would not let me compete because they thought it looked bad for me to be on stage and not place high.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, so it was very very political thing, and I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
I still went, and I worked at the Arnold that year with muscular development. I was there with Dave Palumbo and signed autographs and got to do my thing there. But I didn't get to get on stage because of the company I was signed with.
So it's like you were fit to do it, and you knew you could do it. You could probably win it, but because
so there was the 9 invites, and that one was it was disappointing. And then I came back in 2010, and I placed 7th. So after that was a different route for me that year, which we can talk a whole nother time. Hey guys, if you've enjoyed the Monica Brant Show, don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, and if you have any ideas or suggestions for the show, comment below, and I'm happy to get back to you.